talent. He's got himself into the lead. Smile.
Look at that shooting accuracy.
He's going to cross the line as a deserving World Cup final champion.
Hello and welcome to beautiful Budapest, Hungary. The majestic Danube River divides this historic city, but today a much harsher line is being drawn through this field. 9 athletes have already secured their tickets to the big show, and now only 9 spots remain. Coming up is the second women's semi-final of the 2026 Pentathlon World Cup final. The blueprint has been set, the margin for error has vanished, and the battle for the final places in this thrilling new era of modern pentathlon is officially on. And just look at how hot it is out there. The Budapest heat has reached its absolute peak. These athletes face a brutal test of temperature management, and this is what is to come. We begin with the fencing direct elimination. 5 rounds of knockout, first to 5 hits, or the most touches in 1 minute. A higher ranked fencer will make it through if the scores are equal on time. We then move over to the OCR, the obstacle course race. 8 obstacles, and it's a race against the clock. Ascension bars and climbing holds the choice picks this time around. We move to the pool, which is about 1 kilometre away from the main venue, where the athletes will be up against the clock again, 4 laps of a 25-metre pool before returning for the handicap start of the laser run. This year, the athletes visit the range straight away, straight out of the starting blocks. They run around one corner and they're into the range. They then go around a 600-metre loop and repeat that 4 more times. So 5 visits to the range, 5 laps of 600 metres for the 3,000-metre laser run. First 9 over the line will make it to Sunday's final. It is huge, a huge task. I'm Karim Bashir, and I can't tell you how excited I am for this semi-final, especially given the calibre of the woman sitting next to me. She is a multi-time World Championship medalist for Egypt, Mariam Amma.
Thank you for that introduction, Karim. Yeah, I think I'm equally as excited looking at these athletes, those 18 athletes competing in semi-final B. The lineup is insane, and there's just no telling who's going to make it through. I think maybe 4 or 5 we have eyes on.
Yeah, here is the lineup right in front of you. So we have 18 athletes lined up for this competition, and they're seeded for the fence, which is first, based on an average of their performance over the World Cup season.
Exactly. So there's no seeding round this competition, which is new. Bit of maybe the athletes are coming into this a bit more relaxed.
Well, it's about time we met them. Coming out, Kim Spletzer from Germany. Let's see how she fares through the fence and the OCR before we can see if she'll threaten for a place in the finals. Now, the youngest member of the field, Tatiana Tomatos from the Republic of South Africa, 2025 under-17 world bronze medalist, and at just 16 years old. Can she just go out and enjoy this experience and see what happens? Now, Sofia Hernandez from Guatemala, the 2023 Pan American Games bronze medalist, will have to put it in the performance of the season to make the top 9 here. Strong swimmer, her performance on the piste and in the pool will dictate the success of Anastasia Malyshenkova from Belarus. And now we have Kabownik from Poland. Another athlete from Poland in the field. I wonder how she's going to fare. Expect her rankings to climb over the OCR. Now Ludovica Montecchia from Italy. Just making it to this stage is a big achievement for this Italian. Watching her performance through the first 3 disciplines will be intriguing. Bronze at the Budapest World Cup last year suggests that Colline Flavin from France could challenge in this field. Can the 2025 Junior European bronze medalist make her senior breakthrough here on her home soil? Emma Mesros seems to be enjoying herself, that's for sure. Now for a couple of athletes who celebrate their birthdays this week. First, two-time Asian Games champion Zhang Minyu from the People's Republic of China. Next up, another birthday girl this week, the 2022 Under-17 World Champion Shim Su-min. Interested to see how her fence is. Koreans can be pretty handy on the piste. 2025 South and Pan American champion is another athlete who's made performance gains in 2026. Paula Valencia from Guatemala. Turkey, represented by Sidar Aslan, the 2023 European Games athlete, making her first World Cup final appearance. Now Anna Yurt. She's a gritty laser runner and pretty good over the obstacles. If she puts in a decent fence and a swim, she could make it through. Gana El Gindi. She's also made big gains this season. That led to the bronze medal at the World Cup in Peshawar earlier on this season. Now the incredibly agile Lucia Glavachkova, bringing elite gymnastics flexibility and Paris Olympic pedigree to this lineup. Catherine Oliver of Mexico comes out next. She's definitely in the mix for a place in the final. The 2023 Pan American Games silver medalist does need a good start though. Elżbieta Adamatiti from Lithuania. Her rankings dropped a little bit over the past 12 months, but if she gets in a good fence, that could set up the momentum for a challenge. And now Song Seung-min from Korea, completing the lineup. Paris 2024 Olympic bronze medalist and 2025 Asian champion. Expect a good fence to set her up nicely. Well,
look at that lineup.
I was just going to say, what about this lineup? I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? There's some favourites that we think are going to go through, but the rest, it's an open house, isn't it?
Yeah, big question mark on who makes the top 9. We've seen some drama in semi-final A earlier on, and I think that's anything to go by. Semi-final B is equally as exciting as women get us underway for the first discipline of the day, the direct elimination.
Oh, and here we are. You lead me in so beautifully to these graphics. We have an incomplete round of 32 in the fence. First to 5 hits, 1 minute of fencing, whole bodies target. Only weapon in fencing, but it's the only weapon in modern pentathlon. Epee is the only one where you can hit at the same time. If you hit within 40 milliseconds of each other, you both score a hit. That's called a double. If the scores are tied after a minute, the highest ranked athlete from the fencing earlier on this season will go through. That's defined by an asterisk on your graphics. I am going to be on piste 8 at the top of your screen. Mariam's going to handle things on piste B. We're going to have a go at trying to talk you through both these matches at the same time. Coming on piste A, Hernandez of Guatemala and Tomatos from South Africa. Who have you got on B?
Kim Spletzer and Anastasia Maleshenica down on piste B in the bottom half of your screen there. Both underway now.
So it's a difficult one. We've got 2 pistes on at the same time, especially when these fights are so critical for these athletes. Just making it through one extra round is so critical to the point scoring. And at the top, they're just staying a little bit out of distance at the moment. But Fancy Hernandez has just come over the top for a single light flick onto the wrist.
Yeah, back on B though, it's a double touch, so not much has changed, but Maleshenica again with that star next to her name indicates that if the time does tick down, she has time priority. So Spletzer, good preparation here, no touches as of yet.
16-year-old South African Tomatos has just leveled up with a beauty of a hit underneath the hand.
Yeah, Spletzer as well. It was same hit underneath the hand as well. So both fees going hand in hand here with 2-1 Spletzer has over Maleshenica.
And Hernandez 2-1 over Tomatos, so she's gone over the top of the wrist as well. 3 great hits on piste A, and they're inside the last 6 seconds, a double scored, which just moves the score on both sides. It doesn't affect the difference. Hernandez looking strong for a place in the round of 16.
So, piece B, 5 seconds on the clock. Spletzer is looking good for the win here, and she does it. Gets that final touch, retreats, lets her opponent come in with that flesh, and Spletzer is our first mover.
Well, at the top, Hernandez has also gone through. Tomatos ran out of time in the end. She chased it down, but Hernandez is the athlete through from Guatemala. She makes it into the 16. And we'll see Hernandez again straight away as she takes on Xiong from Korea. That is going to be a very tricky fight. Spletzer goes on B straight away, and she is up against Adamaititi.
Yeah, Adamaititi, actually a very good friend of mine. She's an incredible athlete. Didn't have much of the season she was hoping for last year. Dealt with a bit of injury as well. So it's good to see her come back here in World Cup finals. This is a shot for her to showcase her abilities. Spletzer and Adamaititi down on piece B. Adamaititi taking a second there to adjust her blade. But this promises to be a good one. Adamaititi, this match is huge for her.
Well, we just started on piece day. Hernandez from Guatemala against Xiong of Korea. Tricky for us to commentate on two pieces at the same time as Song goes into the lead. Expect Song to go through at the top. So, Mariam, I'm going to leave piece B with you.
Yeah, it's looking good on piece B, just as you say that. It is a double touch, no big movers as of yet. Adamaititi, a left-handed athlete with that French grip as well, so a double advantage. She keeps on that low line. Spletzer needs to find a good distance here. She does. Forearm flick there. Gets 2 touches now against Adamaititi's 1 touch.
Well, got a bit of a surprise going on piece day. Hernandez has gone 2-1 up against Xiong.
Yeah, piece B with a 2-all score there.
Snap. Song's just leveled up. Nervy moments for her, but she didn't waste any time when she went 2-1 down to take the lead. And I expect Song to press on now and try and get the lead here. She don't want to take that risk again.
Yeah, again, on piece B, Adamaititi regains that lead with a 1-point lead over Spletzer. She's really going for that defense route, not really trying to give any fence or anything to her opponent. Goes for the flesh and gets it. Was a second intention touch there, but is 4-2 the score now with 6 seconds on the clock.
Well, as Hernandez draws level on piece day, time is against her. If the scores stay level, Song goes through. Oh my goodness, Hernandez has taken the lead. 1.8 seconds left on the clock on piece day. Song is going to have to come out the block super fast to chase this one down. And she doesn't, well, she does chase it down, but she doesn't get the hit. And Hernandez has taken out a much higher seeded Song by 5 points to 3.
That opens things right up. Imagine it being unpredictable before the fence. Now, our highest seeded fencer and one of the favorites for probably a medal here in Budapest is out of the direct elimination. That was a masterclass from Hernandez, by the way.
Yeah, huge. We weren't expecting that at all. What happened on B? Was it Adamaititi that made it through?
It was, yeah. Very consistent from her. Got that final touch with a double touch. Secured things nicely with a 5-4 against Spletzer.
Well, on B, Arslan of Turkey takes on Zhang of China. And on A, we have Shin of Korea against Valencia Franco from Guatemala.
Be already underway now. Zhang again with that French grip. Lots of French grips. They're becoming a bit more common than they were in previous seasons. Aslan with a flick of the wrist there. Gets her first touch up on the board. Very wide stance Sidal Aslan has on the piece there. Zhang just toying with the distance a bit here. Aslan looking for the blade, goes for the flesh. It is a missed touch. So no touch there, down on B.
There's a bit of caution on piece day with Shin. She's seeing what's happened to her opponent against the other Guatemalan. Fernandez going through against Xiong. At the moment, Valencia still 0-0. Valencia, though, in this one, the higher seed.
So Zhang versus Aslan down on B. To get your attention back on that one, Aslan is keeping the distance open. It's a double touch. She just needs the score to be level to progress through to the next round.
14 seconds left on A. We've had a double. And it looks like Shin has just about got through. A furious exchange of blade work there. It looked to be a counter riposte from Shin that landed. That means her attack was blocked. And then what came back from Valencia, she blocked herself. And she goes 2-1 up as a result. Attack into preparation. Valencia's got too close without doing anything. Shin has opened up a 2-point lead here. Valencia's going to have to go for it. She gets one back.
Things are getting interesting down on B as well. Zhang and Aslan level on score. Zhang needs 1 point. Aslan needs 1 point or the score to be level. It's 2 seconds on the clock. Who's going to manage a way through it is Aslan with that counter repost. Aslan just about gets by with 0.3 on the clock.
Amazing. And here we've got Valencia chasing this one down. And on the clock, she is drawn level, which means because of her ranking, she progresses 3-3. That was a formidable comeback from Valencia. She was 2 down with less than 15 seconds on the clock. So the two Guatemalans will face each other in the quarterfinals. We have a few more fights coming up in the 16 on the B piste. Mezaros of Hungary takes on Yurt of Switzerland. And on A, Algendi of Egypt takes on Flavin of France. That should be a tasty one.
Yeah,
both of them.
Yeah, both of them. I think all 4 of these athletes are well in with a chance of making it to the top 9. Mezaros and Yurt on piste B and already getting things underway. The distance is so tight now. It's anyone's move. Yurt going for a fent in the middle there. And that distance is just so tight. Mezaros again looking for the blade. Anna Yurt takes a counter for, but Mezaros redirects her point. 1 point for Mezaros up on the board.
Flavin has scored one in close quarters as well. And as Mariam says, these 4 athletes were all had looked at the draw beforehand and thought, oh no, that is a tough round of 16 draw. It's tough for all of them as Algendi levels up 1 apiece on the A piste.
Back on B, Mezaros with a double touch. Keeps herself within that safe margin of error with 1 point lead over Yurt. Yurt, again, we know is a quick runner, a quick obstacle course athlete as well.
Flavan's just done a beauty over the top. A flick onto the wrist and just over the top of the guard. You often hear the bell go, and that's the tip hitting the guard. Now, Algendi levels up again.
Mezaros on B wins this bout effectively, just 0.3 on the clock left, 0.03 on the clock left. So Mezaros effectively is into the quarters now and has actually eliminated a huge contender in this semi-final. Anna Yurt is out.
Flavin has re-established the lead here on the A piste, and what we've got here is that hit's scored on the carpet. I don't think that's gone through. It has been annulled. It's another, well, I don't want to say upset because Flavin's a decent fencer, but it's the higher ranked fencer going out, and we've seen that time and time again just in this semi-final. Let alone the number of times we saw it in the first semi-final. They've had an issue with the clock starting on the A piste, and the referee had said allez, and they were to get underway. They did get underway, and no lights came up because the clock hadn't started, which effectively opens up the box. Now, both athletes awarded a hit on a double. So, inside the final couple of seconds, and Flavin counters out for a 5-3 win, and that is another big name dropped out of the fence in the round of 16, Flavin makes it through to the quarterfinals.
Piece B now, Karbovnik versus Oliver. And this will be one of the 2 matches left in the table of 16. So we're almost into the quarters now. Again, Oliver, a strong laser runner. Karbovnik, a quick athlete on the OCR course, looking to make her way into the finals. Top 9 position is where you want to be today. Karbovnik is being very offensive here with her blade. Oliver, left-handed athlete, closes up the distance. Oliver goes for a flush, doesn't get it. Karbovnik, repost. That was a good one. Counter 6 into the chest of Oliver there. Picks up her first point, Karbovnik.
Meanwhile, on Peace Day, we just started the last of the round of 16 matches. Montecchia of Italy taking on Klavachkova from Czechia. Klavachkova, the higher-ranked athlete, actually going down 1 point to the super quick Italian.
Yeah, down on Piece B there. Things got scrappy for a sec, but it is still 1-0 the score. Karbovnik now just careful, flash forward and gets her second point. It was good timing from Karbovnik. So Oliver now looking to get through, trying to find the blade. She's looking too much for that blade because Karbovnik went in directly and got her third point. Now this is huge for Karbovnik. Karbovnik gets her fourth one, goes down low. I think Oliver's just focusing too much on that blade and trying to take that blade before going in for a touch, but it's working against her at this point as Karbovnik is 4-0 over Oliver. Final touch now. Oliver gets one with a second intention touch there.
Well, meanwhile, just under 6 seconds to go on Peace Day, and Klavachkova is living up to her ceiling, but she's having a really tough time against Montecchia.
Yeah, B now. Karbovnik finishing things up nicely with 4 seconds on the clock, makes it 5-2. And she is into the quarters, Karbovnik of Poland.
Well, we thought we were at 4-3 on Peace Day, but the referee has annulled the last hit due to the fact that he'd called halt for them going past each other, I think is what he's saying, or that there was a clash of guards. So the 2 athletes resume at 3-2. Montecchia needs 2 to progress. And now it is a true double, and we go to 4-3. So now Montecchia has to get to 5 before Klavachkova does. Klavachkova could double out here if she wants to, but in the end, she gets the single light for a win in a place in the quarterfinals, which is already underway on Piece B.
Yeah, Aslan and Admaititi, our first match into the quarterfinals now, both very offensive. Aslan getting that first touch on the top of the forearm there from Admaititi. Admaititi changing up that distance. And she has that bit of extra reach with the French grip, but she's also holding back and keeping her arm beside her chest. So it's difficult to get that benefit if you're not utilizing it to the fullest. And you can see that Aslan replies with a touch again. This is getting costly for Admaititi. Keeps on that low line, another double touch. Aslan just needs 1 point here. Admaititi needs at least 2 to level the score. She still has time on her hands, 34 seconds on the clock.
Meanwhile, on A, we have an intramural affair. Hernandez up against Valencia, Guatemala.
Admaititi makes it 3 now, so 1 point away at least. It's a double touch, and Aslan ends that conversation. And she is our first semi-finalist.
Well, Hernandez has leveled up against Valencia, 1 apiece, and they're halfway through the minute. just appear to be just a little bit further away than most of the other fights, these two. They'll know each other well, they'll train together. Valencia snatches the lead back, but it's a very, very cagey affair. This is like Olympic fencing.
Yeah, it's so difficult to figure out who's going to win. These athletes train together every single day.
This probing around the guard, Hernandez. Close quarters, and the referee calls halt. A 2-1 lead for Valencia over teammate Hernandez.
B now, Karbovnik versus Mezaros, our second quarterfinal match. Mezaros has the support of the crowd.
Valencia has snatched an advantage here, and she is the higher ranked of the two Guatemalans, and it will be Valencia who will make it through as the clock runs down 3-1. Hernandez seems to have resigned herself to defeat there and conserving her energy rather than chasing after her opponent.
Yeah, didn't need to call that one on B. Mezaros. You could hear the roar from the crowd in support of the young Hungarian. Gets her first point up on the board. She's retreating to the back of the piece, so interesting technique here as Karbovnik so focused on taking the blade, goes for a flush, doesn't get it. It is Emma Mezaros. So it's a double touch with 18 seconds to go. Mezaros looks good for the win of this bout.
Just waiting for Colleen Flavin from France to take on Lucy Klavachkova from Czechia on the A piece. This for a place in the semi-finals, and they are only just getting underway on piece day.
Yeah, piece B now. Karbovnik tries to go for an attacking, actually gets it with 6 seconds on the clock. Remember, she needs to be in at least a 1-point lead. Actually, that was cancelled out by the judge, so a double touch makes it now 4-2. Emma Mezaros for the win here, just 1 point away from victory. 6 seconds on the clock. Karbovnik makes a run for it. Emma Mezaros defends so well and makes it 5-2 into the semis. We'll see you there, Emma Mezaros.
So Flavin's found one hit and now makes it 2. She's doing all the work. She is pressing Klavachkova back into her own half. At the moment, it's too reactive from the athlete from Czechia, and Flavin actually didn't get that second hit. But that is a beauty to foot. A little bit more proactive from Klavachkova, and that is what has got her back on level terms.
Actually, on piece B, this is the semi-final match. So big points up for grabs for both these athletes. Mezaros versus Aslan. Aslan gets the first point with a flesh. First 5 seconds of the match already.
Yeah, whoever wins that one is going to get a great big rest before the final, because we are still in a quarter-final on the A-piece. Inside the last few seconds, and Flavin, who for me has done all the work here, has put herself into a position where she's going to knock out a higher ranked fencer, and she uses the time left on the clock just to back away, and Flavin from France is through.
Yeah, Aslan, this is a masterclass foot touch there from her as she looks to her next point, and just as I say that, gets that point with a fent and second touch there into Mezaros. Has plenty of time on the clock with only 1 point away from the win. Can Mezaros turn things around? It's going to be difficult from this point. Aslan is on a roll, and there you have it. Aslan, our first finalist in this direct elimination, is through, as we still have a long way to go on piece A.
Yeah, that's another big upset. Last seed going out, and by some big score there as well for Aslan. She's fencing really well. Who's she going to face in the final? We're about to find out. The semi-final started on piece day. Valencia, Guatemala, Flavin of France, and oh, look at that. We go to a single screen here. We saw in the last round, Maren, that Flavan was doing all the pressing at the beginning, and so she earned her place and a win against Slovakia in this semi-final.
Yeah, she's looking to do the same here as well, keeping that distance and arm open at the same time, but she's a bit aggressive as well, waiting for her opponent to come in, and that is exactly what happens. It's a double touch between those two athletes.
Oh, lovely hit over the top. That's a really disciplined hand. She can be proud of that hit. She just deceives the attempt to take a blade and went round and hit over the top. She's clearly got expectations of a good result in the fence here, hasn't she, Flavan?
Yeah, she's fencing really, really well. Again, a youngster, look at that, grabs her third now.
That was a bit lucky. She missed the first one, she missed the second one, and it was only the third bite of the cherry where she remised her final attack. That is much more classic. Attack into preparation as your opponent's stepping up. The kamikaze move there from Valencia was stepping into distance and then trying to take the blade. Something a little bit more agricultural on that occasion. Straight down the middle. No mucking around with Valencia there. She only has to level up, but it is Flavan who takes the win on a defensive counter, and Flavan goes through to the fencing final where she will face Aslan from Turkey. Flavan's got some really good moves.
She has, and she's considerably gotten better as the season has gone by. You can see that in just how she moves and her tempo.
That was the attack into preparation, the fourth one, a beauty of a hit. So a lot of variety there as well. And considering these athletes training in 5 different disciplines, that is a really good bit of fencing from Flavan. Flavan versus Aslan for the win in the fence and top place after one discipline. And we are underway.
So Flavan on the left, Aslan on the right. Aslan again with that pretty wide stance, tries to go for a foot touch, but Flavan, you can see, opening up that distance quite nicely again with a low stance of the blade there. Aslan goes for another foot touch. It's a double touch. It was a bit too wide. Flavan read that before Aslan made the move. Double touch at 37 seconds. A win here for Flavan could go a long way, but Aslan goes for a flush and gets her second point up on the board. Flavan now being aggressive. Oh, it was the second touch. Aslan was a bit frustrated with that, but levels the score, Flavan. Aslan just needs the score to be level. Flavan needs to go at least 1 over to win this bout. 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, fascinating contest, and Aslan launched an attack there. Saw the lights come up on the box, and that's because it's a double, and that's the second one of those where Aslan's gone on the attack, and Flavan's been sharp enough on the counter to get a double. Not that time, though.
Yeah, Aslan, beautifully done by her. I mean, she's been fencing consistently throughout this direct elimination, and she looks to have a bit more momentum as I say that. Flavan levels the score now at 7 seconds. This is anyone's game, 1 point away from the win.
Absolutely. Flavan's got to go for it, though. Aslan can sit back here, and Aslan takes the win. 5-4 with again, a counter-action in defense. Aslan of Turkey wins the fence here in this second women's semi-final of the World Cup final in Budapest.
I think for Aslan, that is a huge leap forward. She is one that maybe struggles a bit with the laser run, so any points that she could get from all the other disciplines leading up to the laser run will go a long way. Good fence then from Aslan as well as Flavan with 246 points as Aslan picks up the 250 points.
This is how the fence finished. A great performance from Aslan, beating Zhang, Adamaititi, Meseros, and then Flavan in the final for the win in the fence. And the points. And here's how the leaderboard looks after the first of 5 disciplines. A climb of 6 places for Sidal Aslan, a climb of 10 for Flavin. The best move so far. Good performance from Valencia, moving up 5 places as well. But remember, for the semi-finals, we're focused on this group. The second table we see 7 to 12, because it is the top 9 that make it through to the World Cup final on Sunday. Seung Min sitting in 9th place at the moment. These are already in the chasing pack, but we have 4 more disciplines to go. And 16-year-old Tatiana Tomatos could be proud of her being here in the first place. Can she do something as the day moves on? The fence is over. We'll be moving over to the obstacle course race next, but before we do, let's take a look at the fabulous performance from Sidal Aslan in the fence. One of 5 down. Fence is done here in the semi-finals of the World Cup final in Budapest. We move straight to the OCR, the obstacle course, where we'll go over the steps into the big wheel. Then the tilting ladders, the agility of over, under and through. Then the first of one of the mystery events, the ascension bars. They don't look like that. Those are the giant steps, a standard one, and then into the second of these selected randomly obstacles, the climbing holds before. But that's not enough. Getting up a finish wall, the wall of death, as I've duped it, to hit a buzzer at the end to stop the clock. They'll go off in heats and pairs in this, but this is not a race against the person next to you. It is a race against the clock. The fastest you can go in this, the better points you'll get. And we are going to get this start list up soon. We have 18 athletes. You can do the maths, because they go out in pairs. There's 9 of them. The back of the field, they go in reverse order. So Tatiana Tomatos and Anastasia Malashanoka will go off first, and then they go in pairs. But remember, these aren't races against each other. These are races against the clock.
Yeah, I think a lot to make up for in the OCR. We've seen athletes like Jonathan and Ziraimer in semifinal A who made up so much time in the OCR. So still a lot to play for all these athletes if they didn't have a good fence.
Yeah, that was the middle group where we could see some big times. Anyone here that we think is going to have a good one? Adam Aitaiti, we have seen a season where everyone has improved over the obstacles. Well, we're about to find out. It is pair number 1. And they are up and running already. Tomatos from the Republic of South Africa taking on Malashanoka from Belarus.
Look at Tomatos go. She is so quick.
Sending bars. I was talking with you earlier on about this, and I thought, oh, that looks really difficult. And you said they all love it.
Yeah, I think it's one of the easier draws. Just as I say that, Tomatos falls on the climbing holds, has to go back around now. It is Malashanoka with the lead of this heat so far.
Yeah, the 16-year-old South African having a fall, so she had to go all the way through it and then complete it. Tomatos sets a time of 38.051. Not a bad time. 42.24 for Tomatos. So that also not too bad given the mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good recovery from her for sure. A fall like that could set you back a few more points than that, but can see there in the replays, just about didn't grip that second one. Took the risk jumping onto the second one instead of the first.
Yes, so close, wasn't it? Why not though? She's just 16 years old. This is all about a learning curve for her. And we have the second lineup already from Germany, Kim Spletzer, and then Italy's Ludovica Montecchia.
Yeah, Montecchia in the foreground, Spletzer in the background. Jump on to their first ladder. Montecchia is losing a bit of momentum on that third ladder, but does well here. Spletzer falling behind as Montecchia takes the early lead of the race into the ascension bars now. Skips out on the first one, but again losing momentum throughout these obstacles. Pushes herself forward, big steps into the second variable. It's kind of rocking as well. Not sure how stable it is, but Montecchia looking good here. Throws herself up the wall now. Just needs to hit the buzzer. She does at 38.8 seconds. Spletzer on course now still. And just about lands it. Up the wall she goes. It's not going to be the quickest time of the day by any means, but it's still within a good time. 53 seconds the time for Kim Spletzer.
Yeah, tricky one that was, that's for sure. Like you say, the momentum is part of the key of getting a fast time here. If you can swing through those overheads, especially without breaking momentum, you're going to gain an awful lot of time. And here we haven't seen Montecchia having to put in an extra swing to get herself off and safely off that obstacle. You can't fall into the middle of the obstacles there. So you feel like she could shave some time off. Heat number 3, Zhang Mingyu, China versus Shin Su-min of Korea, and they are up and through and on to the tilting ladders. I haven't seen any of the women yet jump for the second tilting ladder.
Yeah, I think it's we still yet to see that with the women. We'll see it tomorrow with the men's for sure, but both these athletes within a very good time. Look at that momentum from Shin as she moves over to the penultimate obstacle now. Climbing holds, almost done with it, just loses a bit of time there, but she goes up the wall now. It is going to be under that 35-second mark, just about 34.2. That is the fastest time of semi-final B.
Also just outside 40 seconds, 42.01.
Solid times from both these athletes. Shin is going to be moving up quite a bit with that time of 32 seconds. Our fastest time was semi-final A, was 27 seconds the time. That is the time to beat Zeina Ahmed. I just want to pop that in there.
Your sister, you have to be mentioning.
Yeah, she didn't make it to the finals, unfortunately, but still a very good effort with the obstacles. Here we go. Gennel Gindi and Anna Yurt, two of the standout athletes in this semi-final B. You're just losing a bit of momentum, hanging on that first ladder still. Gana Ginti is doing well here, over, under, through now. This is a pretty straightforward part of this course. Ascension bars, doesn't skip out the first one, doesn't take that risk, and is still looking quick out there. Big steps into the climbing holds now. Grip strength is tested. She throws herself on the mat and up the wall she goes. It's not going to be under 30 seconds, but just over 31.8. Anna Yurt touches the buzzer at 35. Very solid time for both these athletes.
Yeah, that was a good time, but a bit measured by the looks of things from El Gindi.
Yeah, I think she wasn't going to take the risk here in semifinals. It's better to get that course done and not make any mistakes rather than lose a few seconds to time. Good performances from both these athletes as we look over to heat number 5 up next.
Yeah, Catherine Oliver of Mexico on the line with Xiong Min for this one. Xiong closest to us through the big wheel. It's almost like a little bit of a warm-up those athletes are treating those first two obstacles as. And Xiong just being, again, a little measured perhaps, but she's thinking safety first. She misses the first of the ascension bars. And look at Oliver trying to catch up here. She's not too far behind. climbing holds, the climbing grips. A real challenge because you're holding one way and trying to swing your momentum of the body the other way. And Song sets a time of 37.012. And it's 38.9 for Oliver. Again, there's a measure here, perhaps that we didn't see in the first semi-final, of the athletes just taking a little bit more care and giving up a few seconds, if you like, just to be sure of not falling.
Yeah, I think that's a risk that I would be willing to take as an athlete as well, because you would lose so much more time if you had to redo an obstacle, as well as just losing out on all that upper body strength and having to redo that. So good plan from these athletes as Heat 6 is now on the blocks. Hernandez versus Karbovnik. Karbovnik, a very quick OCR athlete. Hernandez is one doing the catching up here, and Karbovnik launches herself onto the mat into the predictable portion of this race, and now ascending bars, losing a bit of momentum there, struggling to... They make it look easy, but it is tough. Karbovnik now into the penultimate obstacle, launches herself onto the second one. Good momentum going through the climbing holes, just needs to stick the landing. She does. Up the wall she goes. Is it going to be under 35? It is. 34.8, just about, as Hernandez is still making her way through those climbing holds, just taking her time, making sure she doesn't fall off the mat. She sticks the landing and up the wall. It is very nervy for us as well, watching over. 51 seconds the time for Hernandez.
Hernandez got herself in all sorts of bother there on the climbing grips, didn't she? Because she was swinging left to right instead of swinging back and forth, and that just slows you right up, really kills the momentum. But Karbovnik, she's not far off a really, really good time. I'm not saying that her time wasn't great, 34, but if she can just get the rhythm linked between the obstacles, she's up for really improving on this time by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think Karbovnik, if she is to make it to the finals, could really improve on that time, you're right.
So next up, Levachkova from Czechia, Adamai Titi from Lithuania. And we are up and running and underway. Pretty level pegging at the moment. Although it's like Levachkova just got a little bit of an edge at the moment. And she misses the first bar, but look at Adamai Titi, she's coming right back as Levachkova had lost a bit of momentum, but they somehow found it again. She goes to the opposite side of the climbing grips, and she's putting an awful lot of work into this, so perhaps a little bit more risk here for Levachkova. She wants to stay up the top of the rankings, and she sets a time of 32.281. And that is not a bad time at all. Second fastest so far.
Second fastest. That is incredible from Levachkova, considering that she's already in the top 6. Adamai Titi pulled off a good run as well. I think she'll be happy with that one.
They definitely looked like they were taking a few more risks there, both of them, in that one. Coming out next is the two hug at the top, Meseros and Valencia, Hungary versus Guatemala.
Yeah, Meseros, you called it before the obstacles started. She is one to look out for. Big wheel into the tilting ladders. Kind of was a vertical jump there more than towards the ladder. Looked kind of risky, but managed to get through. Both these athletes now into the ascension bars. Oh, look at her skipping out the first one. The speed and the strength in her arms, launches herself forward. And now the climbing holds. Grip strength is tested. Both these athletes in the climbing holds. Who's going to make it out first? It's both level on time as they go up the wall. Meseros hits the buzzer at 32, as well as Valencia, just 0.4 separating those two athletes.
Amazing, amazing run, these last two. Meseros delighted with the performance there. And like you said, into these tilting ladders, that was, I think she made a mistake, didn't she?
Yeah, I think it was something with the hand-eye coordination. Something did not land for her, but at least she was able to hold it. Yeah.
Well, it was amazing for the rest of it, and what a race Valencia put on as well. Race against the clock, though. It's exciting to watch two people going up against each other. Two more to come. Colleen Flavin from France and Siral Aslan from Turkey, the leading athletes in the lineup coming out for the last heat, and they're already into the tilting ladders. And It is. Well, this is a really, really nifty performance.
Yeah, so Dal Aslan just about landed after those tilting ladders. Lost a bit of momentum on the third one, was just about to slip, but manages to recover here. Flavon also very close by.
It's just slowed up that time, hasn't it? Zidal Aslan was on for an absolute cracking time there, but Corinne Flavin has got ahead of her. Not sure this is going to be the fastest, but still not bad at all. 37.832 and a 39.7 for Aslan. And just like that, the obstacles is over.
Yeah, and look at how that plays around with the standings. It is currently Valencia who's leading the way after that 32-second run in Heat 8. Just like that, as you said, OCR is done. It goes by quick, and it's so interesting to watch and to see the different techniques and to see who takes risk and who doesn't.
That's the most fascinating bit for me, because it seems that there was the miss. Aslan, she just lost her momentum, and that must be so straining, especially with that right shoulder all taped up. Niggly complaint going on up there. Gave Flavin a chance to overtake. The risks seem to be taken by the athletes. You would think, well, you're leading, you don't really need to take so many risks. But of course, it is not about necessarily racing each other. It's also taking account of what you've got to come. And
yeah,
some of them might not feel they've got, not knowing what, not going to be great in the pool, or the laser run, I could struggle with the shoot. Let's get myself ahead. And this is how things line up after the first two disciplines. Mesros, Klavachkova climbing 2 and 3 places. Valencia, as you said, Mario, right up the top, but leading the way for Guatemala. This is the middle of the pack that we're interested in. Karbovnik, Elgindi, and Shin will be hunted down by Yurt, Xiong, and Oliver. Top 9 going through, but good move from Shin up the field, 4 places into that 9th place. And now the remainder of the field. Automatos has climbed 2 along with Malashinoka and Montekia. But it's starting to look difficult for Spletzer and Hernandez at the bottom of the field. We have done the obstacle course. We're going to move on to the pool, but before we do, let's take a look back at the highly entertaining semi-final B. Well, the 9 heats of the obstacles done and dusted for the women's semi-final. The athletes will make their way over to the 25-metre pool, which is actually about 1 kilometre away from the main arena here, the Bock Arena, where they will do 100 metres. One of the changes from last year to this year cut the distance in half, so 100 metres. And again, this is a race against the clock. You build your points through the first 3 disciplines, and those points, so when they're totted up, create the disadvantage, the handicap, whatever you want to call it, for the start of the laser run. And this is the pool over, well, just about 1 kilometre away from here. So we're going to have 3 heats going in reverse order. So the bottom 6 will go out first, and then the middle pairing is the grouping that we're looking for going out next, followed by the top 6. And we can see some changes in the pool, can't we?
Yeah, for sure. Things move around now. 1 second in the pool can be equivalent to 5 seconds added or removed from your score. Every second you go faster, you gain 5 points. So it's it's more expensive than ever, but also you have that balance with it being reduced down to 100 meters now. It's an all-out sprint, less training required, less recovery time afterwards required ahead of the laser run.
Yeah, so this is about when to press the go faster button, depending on your abilities in the pool. I want to talk to us about that. We had a word with Guatemala's Paula Valencia, who goes in Heat 3.
Between obstacles and swimming, I try to keep moving myself so I can keep like the feeling of the competition, because if I stay still I lose everything mentally, physically. I will like cool down and stuff, so I try to keep moving. And I also pack my things in different bags, so specific for every sport. So when I finish the obstacle, I take my shirt off, I give it to my coach so he can put the number, while I go with a little bag to the swimming pool so I can lose as little time as possible. When I get there, I try to eat like some candy to keep my sugar up and to keep like the feeling. The hardest part between this transition is putting on the swimsuit, because it's so short time and it's a difficult part for, I mean, women, I don't know men, but for us it's kind of hard. But yeah, I try to not stop, so I can continue with the competition feeling.
I like the idea of the sweets. It's the bit that's either side of the sweets that's the problem for me.
I love how she's not overcomplicating things. She knows she needs glucose in the moment, and she just takes candy, which works for her. And it's different with each athlete. I think some people would opt for energy gels. Someone would take a date for quick release energy as well. But it's different, and it's nice to see those differences between the athletes.
It really is nice to see those differences between those athletes. And yet again, Marion, you've just led me perfectly into speaking to another athlete. We got a chance to speak to Anna Yurt earlier.
So I guess going from obstacles to the swimming, you're a little bit sore in your upper body. So I like to shake up a little bit and just prepare myself. I'm going into the cool water because your body is obviously quite hot. And then one of the, maybe the sixth discipline is going into the swimming dress. So as soon as you know or you're ready to go to the swimming, you're basically trying to get into your swimming dress as fast as possible. And then it's all about just maybe shaking out your arms, your upper body a little bit, and then basically, but also like getting ready for the swim then. So prepare your muscles a little bit, maybe do some push-ups or something like that. Depends on the timing you have.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for this one, isn't it? Because they don't have much time. Because what happens is they run out the door here after doing the fence and the obstacles, and they jump into a van. That van takes them 1 kilometre. Great, they've got a van, because it is
it's a
blistering hot out there, and that's a 1 kilometre walk when you're already going to the edges of your abilities in terms of physical output. But that means they have got a short space of time when they get there to get ready for it, especially the first heat.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy with you can see the first swim heat up on your screen now, but as we talk about that, there's so much going on behind the scenes. These athletes have to put on their swim costumes. The tech suits take me at least like 8 to 10 minutes to put on. It is so tight, and you have to get that on and then jump into the pool and then get out, take that off, and then get into your... It is a constant battle, this transition. These athletes have to go through every single transition throughout this competition.
Yeah, it is. It's part of the sport, and let's not forget it, especially with this 90-minute format, that you've really got to take account of the transitions. And, well, I never knew it could take 8 to 10 minutes to put on a swimsuit. I never put on a swimsuit before, so I don't know how much it takes to put a normal swimsuit on. But out they come for the first of the swimming heats. You're watching semi-final B from the World Cup final of modern pentathlon. We're in beautiful Budapest, and we have 18 athletes that need to be filtered down to 9. In the first heat, closest to us will be Montecchio of Italy, then Zhang, China, Malashinoka, Belarus, Tomatos from South Africa, Hernandez of Guatemala, Spletzer of Germany. We have no times for Mamashinoka or Hernandez. So the fastest in the pool here are Zhang in lane 2 and Spletzer in lane 6. Heat number 1 underway here in the pool. 4 laps, 100 meters. It's a race against the clock.
Yeah, as you said, Zhang with a very quick time in the pool, but don't keep your eyes off Anastasia Malashchenko as well. Don't see her time up on the screen, but she is a quick swimmer, and we'll see as they make their way to the halfway mark. You can see that is Malashchenko in the blue cap alongside Zhang. I think it's going to be Malashchenko who turns first. We'll see the times. It is 29.2 her first 50 meters. That is very quick for Malashchenko. Could potentially make up time in the pool. We've got that gallop style that hasn't changed since the 200 meters. Final turn now, and those 100 meters do go by very, very fast. So Malashchenko leading the way, and Zhang looks to be in second place. At the far end of the pool is Kim Spletzer as well. Final few meters now. It's not going to be under the minute mark, just about it. 1:00 the time from Malashchenko. Zhang with a 1.1, and we'll see that Effector standing Spletzer with a 1:03, Montecchio with a 1:03, Tomatos with a 1:04.
It's a great time from Malashchenko of Belarus. Didn't have a time this year at that moment in time, but also Zhang has set her fastest time of the year in this pool as well. So that is a great performance from Zhang, and you can see what it does to the points.
Yeah, it's important to notice as well, this is a 25-meter pool, which will be, it will be quicker than if they would have swam in a 50-meter pool, which we had in Cairo earlier this year. So expect those athletes to improve on those times.
And for those people new to the sport, why is it faster? Surely in a 50-meter pool, less turns? You don't have to put those in?
Well, that's the thing. Turns are actually your best asset, and if you can capitalize on that, then it will give you more time to make up for. Use that turn, use that momentum, push off the wall, and gain more speed.
There you go. So heat number 2. Karbovnik of Poland, Elgindi from Egypt, Shin of Korea, Yurt from Switzerland, Xiong of Korea, and Oliver from Mexico. We've got 2 Koreans going in this second heat as they come out. Karbovnik will be the closest to us in lane 1, and then Elgindi will go out. The fastest swimmer by a country mile is the pole, and behind her it's Xiong, a 1:00.03 for Karbovnik is our entry time for this year, and Xiong Seung-min's gone a 1:01.19. Lanes 1 and 5 where the swimmers are. Heat number 2 in the women's semi-final B of the World Cup final is underway here in Budapest. The third of 5 disciplines, and it's a race against the clock.
Yeah, look up in lane number 2, Sung as well as Karbovnik. Pretty close together at this point. It looks like Sung is maybe taking an early lead now, heading in to that 50-meter mark. We'll get the time as they turn at the wall. It's just about it. I think they're going to turn at the same time. Sung and Karbovnik at 29 seconds for the first 15 meters. So it's going to be a quick time of around a minute flat from both these athletes. If one of them could pull away here at the final turn, use that spring technique off the wall. Underwater is Karbovnik taking that first breath, loses a bit of time on there, but won't be too worried about that. Sung, as you can see there in the background, the last bit of your screen there, touches the wall. It is 1 flat. The time, Karbovnik with a 1:01. Shin with a 1:02, Anna Yurt with a 1:04, Elgindi with a 1:07. It's gonna push her quite back. Elgindi, Oliver with a 1:08 as well.
Yeah, the times in this middle heat absolutely critical, so a real good move from Karbovnik and Shin to put down those times in the pool. We'll have to see how things fare elsewhere, but Karbovnik and Shin look like they may well be making moves up the field. We've got 1 more heat to come here.
Yeah, so we were talking about the little details that make a difference. It's 100 meters, so you don't have much opportunity to push for seconds in terms of the actual swim. But if you focus on the small things that matter, the turns, the push off the wall, the underwaters, the push off the blocks as well, if you use that extra bit of momentum you can get from anywhere in the pool, then you would get yourself in a better position.
Heat number 3, this is the top of the order. We have Valencia of Guatemala in lane 1, Meszaros of Hungary in 2, Levachkova of Czechia in 3, Flavin from France in 4, Aslan of Turkey in 5, Adamaititi of Lithuania on the far side of the pool in lane 6. Fastest swimmers, Valencia from Guatemala has the fastest time, 1:00.22 for her as an entry point, and Levachkova just ahead of Sidol Aslan with a 1:01.89. She's in lane 3. So 1 and 3 where the fast times are. Are any of these athletes prepared to take a little bit of a risk just to push themselves a little bit further up the leaderboard going in to the laser run? Heat number 3 is upon us. Into the pool, the top 6 dive for the women's semi-final. They're in good positions already. A place in the top 9 after the laser run is what they're all in the hunt for. And on the far side in lane 5, it looks like Aslan has come out like a rocket.
Yeah, Aslan as well as Sofia Valencia. You can see Aslan in that white cap with the Turkey flag. As they approach the halfway mark now, it's both these athletes turning together. 29 seconds, so around a time of 1 minute flat we're expecting for both these athletes. The rest of the pack aren't too far behind, and remember, these are your top 6 athletes as things stand. Paula Sofia looks to be taking a bit of a lead. Well, actually, they're turning at the same time, so they're racing against the clock, not each other, but every second faster they can go is a second, or actually 5 seconds, they get advantage in the laser run. To the wall now, Paula Sofia Valencia puts in a good time of 1 minute flat, 0.96. And Aslan actually with a 1:02. So dropped off in that last 25 meters a bit there. And we'll see how that leaves them as they drop one by one into the standings.
Is that a case of Aslan perhaps went out a little bit too hard? Is she worried about the laser run? So she was trying to push herself a little bit further up in the pool and sort of burnt out too early?
Yeah, I think so. I think the first 50 meters is where she really was shining, but then that second half is a bit of a drop-off. Couldn't keep pace with Valencia on the third 25 meters. And then the finish is all-out sprint. If you don't have that energy in you, you won't be able to finish strong and fast. Paula Sofia, again, with a very quick time in the pool. She is becoming in the forefront of the competition consistently, World Cup after World Cup, and she's really establishing herself in the senior scene. Still yet to get a medal, though.
Well, this would be some place to do it, wouldn't it? I mean, this is all not about medals. It's a weird one, this one, because the semi-finals is about... we follow the 9th and 10th places in the laser run because it's the top 9 that qualify. So this is how things stand after the swimming. There's results see Paula Sofia Valencia of Guatemala climb to the top of the rankings ahead of Meszaros Aslan, Levachkova Karbovnik, who had a great swim. She's climbed 2 places, as has Aslan. So Aslan's time not too bad in the pool. This is the middle of the table where we are really focused on. A good swim from Xiong sees her climb 4 places to 7th. Shim also climbs up 1. And it's Adamaititi down to 3. And the difference between 9, 10, 11 and 12 on points will be the difference in terms of the handicap going into the OCR. Mariam will talk us through all of that very soon. And here is the chasing pack. I'm not ruling out anyone down to probably Tatiana Tomatos. I think everyone in the top 15 has a chance here. We knew it was going to be a tight field. The swim is done. They are moving from the pool back to the main venue. While they do that, let's take a look at their highlights. Well, we've done 3 of the 5 disciplines. The fence is done, the obstacles is done, the pool is done. We now go to the handicap start for the laser run. This year, coming out of the start gate straight into the range, where they need to hit the target 5 times before they are released, and there are loads of overtakes in the range. They then complete the 600-metre loop, and they do that 4 more times. The final time over the line after the 5th visit to the range, and again new for this year, 5 visits instead of 4. The top 9 go through to the final. This is super tight, super tense. We expected the field to be competitive, and that is exactly what we are left with. Adamai Titi of Lithuania is sitting on 837 ranking points for this semi-final. And we think we're going all the way down to 15th, Catherine Oliver. And this is what the athletes are going to experience. This is straight out of the starting blocks. And come around this bend. And, well, this is into the range. 5 shots at the target. You can see at the top of the target there's some green and red lights. You've got to get 5 green ones before you leave the range. And then you continue on a 600-metre lap, some of which is outside in 33.9 degrees Celsius temperatures. It looks a bit cloudier when this POV video was done. It is not like that out there right now. It is absolutely bright blue skies. You'll do this 4 more times, so you'll hit the range 5 times, complete 5 laps at 600 metres, and then this is all about being in the top 9 as you finish this final bend outside. You have a big couple of loops inside the venue, and the tight turns can be a little tricky. Change of surface can be tricky as well. And they'll hop up over the obstacle course, and then this is the final bend. We expect some athletes to be quite a way out in front, but then the group that chasing, probably for 7th, 8th, 9th place, could be packed out. And this is the athletes arriving back from the pool. You can see how bright it is out there. And there is a huge field here in contention for just 9 spots. Mariam, I'm going to start with... let's just talk points first. 9th place currently, Elżbieta Adamai-Titi.
Yeah.
On 837 points, and we get down to, let's go down to all the way down to 16th place, because we've got Tatiana Tomatos from South Africa there on 801 points. So the points difference there, by my calculations, is 36 points, so 36 seconds she'll start behind 9th place. Look, we had a little word with her about the transitions. Before I ask the real question, let's hear what she has to say.
For the swim to laser run transition, my legs are usually feeling a little bit tired, and I can feel the lactic in my legs, especially now that it's a 100 and more of a sprint. So I usually try and jog a bit before I do anything, just to like shake my legs out, and I do some stretches, and I find that really calms my mind. And then I go into the shooting, and I just focus on getting my sights in and really just taking my time to make sure my shooting is all good and in the middle. And then afterwards, if I have some time, I usually have some gels and do some breathing.
Right, so we're going to start at 16th place here, because we've just heard from her. And there she is. Oh no, that's Montecchia in the field. Look, can Tomatos do this from 36 seconds behind 9th place? Because that's what she's chasing, right?
Yeah, it's not even a matter of time anymore. It's a matter of who are you going to overtake, who's going to miss out on the top 9. And it is very difficult. It is a very tight field. All of these athletes are quick and strong laser runners out on course. Tatiana Tomatos, again, one of the youngsters who's really making a name for herself, and she's doing really well. I think it's going to be tough realistically to get herself into the top 9. But again, we see things happening all the time in modern pentathlon. I'm really interested in 13th upwards. 13th, we have Ganel Ginzi, who's 12 seconds away from 9th place. So we have 10th is Anna Yurt, Anastasia Maleshenika in 11, Mingyu Zhang in 12th, Ganal Ginzi in 13th, and those are the athletes that are going to be chasing down Elżbieta Dumaititi, and all 12 seconds away.
It's fascinating because we've got to look at the top half as well, because some of them could drop down. I'm looking particularly at Sidal Aslan, but the right at the top of the rankings is Paula Valencia of Guatemala, and we had a chance to speak to her as well.
So between the swimming and laser run, I just put my shirt and my top on. I come with my sandals on. So in the bus, I try to keep doing this stuff so I can keep the focus on the competition. I put my shoes a specific way. I eat something else. I did like a little bit bigger because I need more sugar in that moment. So I try to do things that remind me of the competition. When I get here to the laser run, I just grab my pistol and wait for my coach for my shirt. It depends on the weather, if I use sunglasses or a cap or just my ponytail. And I don't listen to music anymore. I used to, but it takes me out of the competition feeling. So I just try to focus on doing the things that remind me of the competition.
I mean, it sounds a bit obvious, doesn't it, doing the things that remind you of competition, but it is, that positive affirmation is a key thing in sport these days.
Yeah, and as well, she said something about not listening to music anymore because it takes her out of competition zone, and it's actually very interesting because some athletes actually opt for music to hype them up and get that adrenaline going, and yeah, it's just different ways of doing it.
Different strokes for different folks. There's someone you'll know quite well. There's Ganal Ginzi. So you think that she's going to be in that chasing pack, hunting down... Well, you talked about Anna Yurt. You think she's going to jump up into the top 9 fairly quickly. Ganal Ginzi. It's again, who's got the potential to drop out of the top 9? Who's going to struggle in the range? We're not going to see a finish with Valencia, Messeros, and Aslan in the top 3 at the end of this.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think some of the athletes are going to be missing out, and it's all about who can keep their cool in the range, because things do get tense out there.
And the bus is still arriving from the pool. This will probably be heat number 3 out of the pool. So we will have a little bit of time before the start. They need to get their gear on. Of course, they would have been starting the process of the transition in that bus, but you saw how many people came out of it. It's not just 6 athletes. There are coaches, there's support staff, there's of course the driver and the volunteers that are there to assist these athletes coming back into the venue. And this is behind the scenes where everyone's getting ready for the warm-up. And there is Dumaititi, the athlete who's sitting on the bubble in 9th place. She's coming out, 5 seconds behind Shin of Korea and 7 seconds ahead of Anna Yurt. So we could see some early changes. They'll visit the range first. There is the Swiss athlete getting ready to go and do her rehearsal in the range just before they get going. What's going through their minds right now? Is it literally, they've got such a packed schedule between the swim and here that really it's just ticking off what are the things that you're supposed to do and you don't have time to think about it?
Yeah, I think it's just getting to the arena is number 1. And I think just taking it step by step and focusing on the here and now. I think the here and now is something that is very important, and it's something that these athletes work on with their sports psychologists, and it's just focusing on what I can do now to be better in the next few minutes. I think for them, it's just getting to the arena, putting on their gear, heading to the range, getting in a couple of shots, warming up. In terms of running and shaking some of that lactic acid, if any, was built up after the swim, just do their little routines. They've done this 100 times, and I think they practice their transition routines as well during training.
Here is the world number 2, Shung Min. She's currently sitting in 7th place. Expect her to have a decent run. She's also got a teammate, Shin Soo Min, right next to her in the field. Can they team up?
I think Sung is one of the athletes you'd expect to stay in the top 9. Shin is a bit of a question mark. I mean, she's improved a lot, but I think Laserun is where she struggles a bit. So Sung, again, a very consistent athlete. You see her balanced in all areas, and she's up there in most of the disciplines. But again, she's very experienced, and she knows how to handle nerves, and she's been in the range under immense pressure. I mean, she's gotten the bronze in the Olympic Games, and there's no bigger pressure than the Olympics. So I think someone who has that that discipline and that mind frame for competing under high pressure situations is the one that's going to prevail here.
The sport in Korea and the investment in there creates a competitive environment just within Korea. As we look at world number 11, made her World Cup debut 7 years ago and has made 25 World Cup starts. She starts in 10th place, but we think she's going to challenge the field pretty early on. We reckon she's going to make it through.
Yeah, and you understand why, looking at that discipline ranking, she is ranked number 4 in the laser run, and it shows why. I mean, Anna Hjort is so quick on track. She's used to being the chasing pack and taking down one by one, and she just looks like she's walking, but she's running so effortlessly and so fast. And that's what I think quick athletes are, especially, for example, if you take the swimming. Quick athletes look like they're gliding in the pool, and quick runners look like they're literally just gliding across the course.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? If something looks, if someone's making it look easy, it's because they're really super good at it. World number 15, Lucia Lavachkova, has 12 World Cup starts, and a silver medal as well. She's starting in 4th place. So how do you fancy her chances?
I think Lavachkova is definitely up there. I think so. Barring any complications, Lucia Lavachkova is again one of the more consistent athletes and very well rounded as well. Quick laser runner, and that's how she actually started out with juniors and youth. She was getting people and just overtaking people on track, and laser run is where she stood out.
And this is what it looks like in the range right now. This is part of our warm-up. You were involved in setting this up, Mariam?
Yeah, one of the athletes was actually has been competing in semi-final age. She didn't make it through to the finals. Cecil Lay, that is her POV live for you guys to get a feel of how it looks like to be in the warm-up, and it is very frantic, trying to get yourself ready, trying to get in a few laps, and just taking in the atmosphere and the crowd and the opponents up against you.
Yeah, and it gives you a really good view of what it looks like. But the thing is, you're too young to remember the film Tron. Because of the gadgets that she's got on her glasses around her face, she looks like something out of a science fiction movie. I wonder what crazy scientist came up with that gadget, whoever they are. Let's shake their hand.
So Paula Valencia up on your screen in the blue bib. Mezaros right by her there in the red shirt. 1 and 2, they're starting things off. Just 13 seconds is the gap between first and second. So Paula Valencia has the opportunity to get into the range, shoot, and get out before anyone else gets in, which is huge.
What gives her a massive advantage. And the visit to the range early does, as you pointed out for the first semi-final earlier on today, it does afford for there to be big swapsies in positions right at the very beginning as groups of athletes go in bunches. And we saw that then throughout the semi-final, not just the first visit to the range, but as a group of 4 or 5 athletes arrived at the same time, we saw the positions changing all over the place. Does the extra shoot make a difference?
I think it does. I think, first of all, it's so different than, it's not just an extra shooting series that's coming in at the end. You're coming off the blocks straight into the range. You don't have that adrenaline shaken out yet. You still haven't done any laps. So it's almost like it's a different game entirely. Again, El Guindy up on your screen doing some meditation, and that's how you see the contrast. People running around and frantic, and some others focusing on the breathing and focusing on what to do next.
Well, here is the starting lineup with the handicaps. As you said, Valencia of Guatemala going out 13 seconds ahead of Mesros. Mesros can come around that first bend, get into the range. If she shoots well, she could be up and running and off, put herself in a great position. It's this middle pack that we're really looking at. The two Koreans, Seong and Shin, and Adam Aititi currently sitting in qualifying positions, but Yurt just behind them. Malashinoka, if she has a good shoot, she could challenge as well. And then we got Zhang and Gana El-Gindi, who we just saw going through her meditations. We think she's in with the hunt. Potentially, there could be a challenge from beyond there. But we're going to focus on that gap from sort of 6 down to 13. Cameras will keep on top of who is sitting in 9th place. The final checks of where you're starting from, the gate position. They're in 2 lines as they go out to make sure there's no potential for tripping as they come out the starting blocks. But what I'd say it's around about 40 meters round one bend before you're into the range. You're not going all out in that 40 meters, are you? It's a reasonable pace. You don't want to get your heart rate elevated too much.
I think that's fair to say.
Again, back with the German Nate, who's literally in the field right now, in amongst them, getting ready to line up. You don't get that kind of access to sport elsewhere. And I think that was someone at the International Federation saying, okay, let's leave it for that.
Yeah, interesting POV we got there.
The build-up now to the laser run. This is the women's semi-final at Pentathlon's World Cup final. Leading out the front, Paula Valencia of Guatemala. She will start the race for the top 9. A healthy lead as we see the athletes then come out in handicapped ordered. Valencia leaves the starting gate on her own. The Guatemalan has a 13-second head start to Mesros, 4 seconds behind her, Aslan, then Hlavacheva, Karbovnik, Flavan, Seong, Shin and Adam Aititi, the top 9 leaving the starting blocks in short fashion. We will then see the chasing pack because it is only the top 9 that qualify for the final. Valencia's got 4 out of 5 in the range and she is out of the range, as you predicted, Mariam, before anyone else got in.
Yeah, that is a definite advantage, an 8-second shoot to start things off as the rest of the athletes head off the blocks now. Mesros is in the range, Aslan is in the range. I'm curious to see what Aslan can pull off here. She's actually shooting well. Mesros side by side. It is 15 seconds for Mesros, 14 for Aslan, not too bad. Karbovnik with a 10-second shoot. Hlavacheva now 3 out the 5, Sung as well. 4 out the 5 for both these athletes. Sung is out with an 8-second shoot. That is mighty quick. Hlavacheva is struggling here. 27 seconds for her first shoot.
Adam Aititi now then in 9th place. She is in the range. Yurt, Malashchenko and Zhang and El-Gindi in there as well.
Shin and Flavan are out. Who's going to make it out in 9th? It is Zhang. Zhang moves up into 9th, but Malashchenko is right on her tail. Adam Aititi as well. So those are the bunched up athletes for number 9. Anna Yurt is in the mix as well.
Yeah, Adam Aititi just dropping down into that position, 10th position, but she's already tried to snatch it back. But is that
Anna Yurt?
Yurt who's jumped up, wearing the number 10 sleeve. She has jumped into a strong position. She is in the qualifying position, and this is just the first lap. They've had one visit, and if Yurt is already up into 9th, what more damage can she do and get herself safely up into the top 5 or 6?
She's attacking this course very early on and actually pulling quite the gap now to Adam Aititi and Malashchenko, as well as Zhang, who could be chasing as well. It looks like Gana El-Gindi is coming from the back here. It's quite the gap still, but Anna Yurt is doing well to maintain it. Heading back into the arena now for their second shooting series, and actually she is gaining on the athletes ahead of her.
Making a very big gain on the athletes. She's going to dump down into that 9th place, a vulnerable position. Colleen Flavin leading the pack of 3 from Shin.
Yeah, Valencia in the range now. Another good shoot here could go well. 4 out the 5 is looking super fast. 8 seconds for Valencia. That is consistency.
And again, the 2nd and 3rd place is only just coming into the range now, picking up their laser guns. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th in the range. And let's see how that changes up. This is the pack of 3 that are focused, though, at the moment. Anna Yurt of Switzerland in 9th position.
Yeah, Karbovnik and Mezeros are out, but as you said, it's all about that number 9. Who can stay away from getting dragged into that race? Anna Yurt is looking to move up and safely into the top 9. Blavachkova is away, Shung is away. But now, who is making it out in 7th, 8th, and 9th?
Yeah, really struggled at the start of the shoot. She's on 4 out of 5, and she's just got out of the range herself.
Yeah, so Shin is out, Anna Yurt is out. So 7th, 8th, and 9th now is Malashenica. It is Malashenica and being chased down by Adamaititi. But those 4 are all bunched up together. Now it is Shin who's in 9th place because Malashenica overtook her on that straight now. So much moving parts going on here.
It is interesting, isn't it? Malashenica as well. We just look at her. Is she pushing too hard here? With Shin now sitting in 9th position. Malashenika's actually moved up into 8th position. But is she pushed out too hard?
I'm not sure. I mean, she still has that energy. She is a quick runner on the course, but it's tough to say right now because it is a very, very tight field. I mean, Colleen Flavin, who started the race just 3 minutes ago or 4 minutes ago in 6th place, is all the way down in 11th. So a lot of positions lost already.
Huge change around. We knew this was going to be competitive. We weren't 100% sure who was going to drop from the top of the order. We've seen Aslan drop down from 2nd to 6th already, and the way she's plummeting at the moment, she could fall out of the top 9. But Shin from Korea try to stay in touch with Shinoka. Shinoka has just pulled out a little bit of a gap, and it just looks to me like Adamaititi is just hanging on around 9th place. Does she have a strong finish?
I mean, she does. I'm not sure where she stands right now. She had a bit of a tough time with injury last year, so hopefully things are back on track. But Adamaititi, I think, is keeping pace with that 9th spot. They're heading into the shooting range as well. Don't want their heart rate to go flying up.
But it does look like it's being managed by the Lithuanian at the moment. And perhaps the same could be said for Colleen Flavin, who at the moment, she just looks a little bit more laboured than Adamaititi. Out of the range already, Valencia and Karbovnik, Mezeros and Xiong shortly out after. Kalvacheva and Haslan in a big race, and they kind of match each other through their 5th target hits, and they are out as well.
Malashenica with a 10-second shoot is out. Yurt is out, so 7th and 8th are safe. But who's making it out in 9th? Adamaititi shooting well here. Shin is shooting well. And it is Adamaititi out in 9th. But look at Zhang with a 6-second shoot. El Ginzi with a 9-second shoot. She came out of nowhere. El Ginzi now is chasing down Adamaititi. She's in 10th place.
This is amazing. Shin is dropping away, but El Ginzi and Zhang have made big moves in that 3rd visit to the range. And now Adamaititi back in the hot seat, back in full focus of our cameras, because she is the one sitting in 9th. There's a little gap ahead of her to Anna Yurt and Malashenica. I think Yurt may have overtaken Malashenica on the track already, but Adamaititi sitting comfortably in 9th at the moment. El Ginzi had a great shoot.
Yeah, she came out of nowhere. It wasn't even on her radar for a while there. She was in the background, but now making her way towards 9th place slowly but surely. She looks like she has the pace in her. Adamaititi racing there. It's taking a lot of effort. This is the 3rd lap. So still almost halfway to go.
So flipping back inside, they adjust their eyes to the light conditions. Interesting to see that most of the athletes out there aren't wearing sunglasses. It is very bright out there, but Adamaititi has the protective visor on that cap protect her from the sun. And perhaps keep her focused on the target as well when she reaches the range. Speaking of reaching the range, the leaders have just got in there. Valencia is already up and running. She's not been shooting badly at all. Sion, Klavachkova, Meszaros, Kabovnik, Yurt, Mashinoka, Aslan and Adamataiti are the athletes in the top 9.
Flavon is making a run for it as well. She's gaining on Ganal Ginzi and Adamaititi now fighting for 9th place as they head into the 4th shooting series.
Well, I think we've seen Xiong jump a bunch of places there as she comes out of the range. Meszaros, Kabovnik, Klavachkova, it's all pretty tight up in the top 5 or 6. There's going to be a bit of a gap, but Malashinoka's got a great run as well.
El Genzi now shooting really well. Aslan is out, but El Genzi with a 9-second shoot. She is now in that hot seat. 9th position is now held by Gena El Genzi, and actually she is about to overtake Sedal Aslan on track, so it could be Aslan who's in trouble.
2 brilliant visits to the range from Gana El Gindi has put her right back in this, and she does take Aslan on the track. Aslan, we did suspect, might struggle. She's dropped all the way from the top 3 down now out of the running, and that is how brutal the laser run is here. You need to be able to have a decent set of legs to get you around this, well, as you call it, a cross-country track. Certainly multiple different surfaces, but then you've got to be able to steady yourself going into the range.
Yeah, look at Sedal Aslan. I don't think she has the pace now because it looks like Adamaititi is going around the bend now and is about to She looks very spent, Aslan, at this point.
She does. She's breathing hard. The head is wobbling from side to side. And you look at Adamaititi behind there, who has upped her own pace a little bit. She has got herself up into a position where she's going to overtake.
Yeah, Flavon as well. Look at Flavon. She is side by side with Adamaititi. I think Flavon is going to move up into 9th now. Look at that. Colleen Flavon moves back into the mix. She started in 6th, dropped back into 11th, and now is up back into 9th.
This is incredible because this is a different kind of tactic from the French athlete. She is going early here, if you like. She's decided to put down the afterburners and trust herself getting through the range and having this pace in the final. Looks to me like Adamaititi's still in this, but she's taking a different approach. She's being a lot more steady so that when she gets to the range, her heart rate is already at a reasonable level for the 5th shoot. This is the race for a place in the World Cup final. Colleen Flavon, who dropped way out of the top 9, has fought her way back in to the top 9, and now she's coming around the bend for her final visit to the range. Xiong's gone out in front, Havlachkova has gone 2nd, Meszaros out in 3rd, Valencia struggling in the range, but she does come out in 4th with Yurka Malashinoka. But let's focus on 9th and 10th. This is Flavon.
Yeah, Flavon in the range. El Genzi is out, so 9th and 10th now. Flavon and Adamaititi missing out on their first couple of shots. Shin is in the mix as well. Where did Shin come from? Aslan is back in. Adamaititi now 3 out the 5. Shin, they're all 3 out the 5 now.
Zhang's in there as well. Zhang's got out. Zhang's done a 7-second shoot for the 5th one, and we've got 3 side by side.
Sedal and Zhang as well as Flavon, but Flavon is now looking to be comfortably in the top 9, and she's putting her foot down.
Has she got the pace? Can she hold this through the last 600?
It looks like it. She's digging deep now. Look at that. Flavon taking a look over her shoulder, making sure she's okay. She's not safe yet, but she's looking...
But it wasn't a nervy look over the shoulder, was it? She was looking over her shoulder and she went, okay, that's all right, I can manage that. And get straight back into her rhythm.
She's actually pulling out quite a bit of a gap now.
Yeah.
Flavon saving a bit for the end there.
So we think we've dropped to Adamaititi. Zhang is the closest to Flavon, but it looks like Flavon has timed this perfectly. She's just starting to grit those teeth now. The leaders have come back into the stadium to complete their final, well, 50, 60 meters over the line. El Gindi has come in, and she's just got a little bit of time left, and this is number 9, Starting in 6th position, Colleen Flavin dropped out of the top 9. She's fought her way back in, and now she's found her way into the top 9 and has got a big gap. Over the line first, though, it's Xiong. She had a brilliant final shoot. Mesros takes 2nd place, and in the end, Valencia, Hlavačková and Yurt all crossed the line roughly at the same time. Malashanoka also through. Karbovnik and Elgindi arm in arm go over the line. They've qualified. Great shoot from Elgindi, but it was the run that's done it for Colleen Flavin from France. She has powered her way into the top 9 and has made the World Cup final. In the end, Zhang wasn't that far behind, but it was a fantastic race from Colleen Flavin. Rastan couldn't quite hold on in the end. Tantalizingly close. Adamaititi, another one who would have felt she had a chance. Shin was up in the mix for a little bit, but in the end, you called it right, Mariam. The rest of the field kind of started to drop away and didn't really have a chance. But how competitive was that?
I mean, that was insane. We've had number 9 change, I think, more than we had laps. It was so intense. But Colleen Flavin, you said that she had a tactic, and she actually did. I think she kind of held on to the chasing pack, not trying to overtake too much as not to burn herself out, and she had that bit of extra energy at the end.
Well, we both, you know, 2 interesting semi-finals in different ways. The first one with Ozukshaw struggling, making a mistake in the obstacle course, made that thoroughly entertaining because it was all about whether she could get into the top 9. This, I mean, it bodes well for the future of modern pentathlon. That you've got so many athletes of such high quality and so competitively, not equal, but it's a competitive field that surely this sport is only going to get more and more popular.
I think so too. I mean, there's no telling who's going to win a certain race at a certain time at a certain competition, and that's what makes this sport so fun to watch.
Yeah, and the 90-minute format also amazing as Hernandez, the second Guatemalan, over the line. Not quite the job that Valencia did today. She was fantastic. And now Spletzer, the German, just finishing the job off, completing the field. And we see everyone over the line because they put in an almighty effort. And I promise you, if you had to go at this sport, Spletzer would be miles ahead of you crossing that line. Over the line first, though, was Xiong of Korea, moved from 7th to 1st. She sort of did it steadily, didn't she? She sort of stayed in the background, and then all of a sudden you look at the leaderboard and Xiong's jumped up to the top. It was a great run from her. Mesros we expected to do well. Valencia did well to stay where she was. Really good performance from Hlavačková. You called it. Yurt jumped up massively. Incredible performance from her.
Yeah, those are the replays then. Valencia. I mean, if today's shooting is anything to go by, I think today was a good training run from her. It was a good display of how she can keep her nerves in check, even if she starts in first place. I think the shooting range is very difficult to predict still, and you can't control your emotions in the range, and sometimes it can come unstuck for some of the athletes.
We see.
That was the first shooting, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it was a big switch around. Adamaititi, though, she looked like she was in there and she was in control of the run. She just didn't look behind her, did she? That was the problem. And Flavin, well, she was just glorious, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the race you would have maybe opted to. I think Flavin at the beginning we were kind of like, she dropped down from 6th to 11th. We were like, what's going on there? Can she recover? And she did. She did pull off a few good shootings, and yeah, she ran as well as she could, and she got into the top 9.
Yeah, we're focused on Adamaititi here because she was in that 9th position for a while, but in the end it was the range that caused her the problem to lose the places, and then you spotted it straight away. What a surprise, your fellow countryman, you spotted Ghana Elgindi. She actually did it in the 4th shoot. She got herself up, and that positioned her beautifully to get into the top 9, and then this was the mad dash, the last visit to the range, and pretty much from there, from out of the range, Flavin got up front, and that was it.
Yeah.
The rest was dust.
Yeah, Flavin actually opened up that gap nicely, made sure she was in there and safely. And yeah, these are the athletes crossing the line. Incredible work from all 18 athletes, and especially those who made it through to the finals. only have a day to rest before we have an incredible final ahead of us on Sunday.
Yeah, fabulous, fabulous performance. So the top 9 making it through to the final on Sunday. Actually, we're celebrating or congratulating Colleen Flavan, who made it through. Sort of a little bit of relief, perhaps, in that look. It was an amazing performance, and this is how things finished at the end of the laser run. Qualifying for the final, Xiong, Meseros, Valencia, Yurt, Clavacua, and Melashanoka. And they were pretty comfortable. Big climbs from 3 of them, 6.56 for 3 of them. Completing the lineup of 9, Karbovnik from Poland, El Gindi, who really shot well to get herself into 8th position, and qualifying 9th, Colleen Flavan, whose run was the thing that made the difference, and she qualifies for the final. The rest of the field didn't quite make it, but it was great to see the highly competitive nature of semi-final B here at the 2026 Pentathlon World Cup final. Thanks to all of you for joining us. That is it from our coverage. We'll be back tomorrow with the 2 men's semis. See you then.
look easy.
Unbelievable talent. He's got himself into the lead. Smile.
Look at that shooting accuracy.